it's Lee. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are obviously doing Beetlejuice. I wanted to have a little bit of extra fun with this because I technically did this cosplay in 2019 when the Beetlejuice musical was going on and everything, so still had all my old gear and first time doing a little bit of SFX makeup. Last time I did this was actually one of my friends that did it, and my best friend did my eye makeup. So this is not just me. This is not just me. So if you're interested in seeing the original photo shoot from that from a few years ago, I'll link it below. But I actually did this setup 2 years ago now and never released it because, as some of you guys know, when I started this, my idea was originally to do the Tim Burton opening credits of the actual movie, and so that's what I already previously sketched. And to be honest, I didn't record that part because I take embarrassingly long time to do serif font, I think that's what it's called, but like font that looks like that, it takes me just way too long. So I was like, just skip ahead and attempt to draw Beetlejuice. Now I found this photo from this amazing artist, and it was the closest that I could find to like something that I felt like I could actually do, because this drawing is actually the very first like real person type of drawing I've ever done. Like, to me, doing Jack doesn't actually count as that because he's a freaking skeleton. Like, he's an animated, not typical skeleton. Beetlejuice is like a real person, so to speak. So I felt very out of my element here and honestly really stress sweating as I was drawing this. But I wasn't able to finish this cover page originally. Like, the footage from 2021 is going to stop right away because unfortunately my truck got robbed about a week before I could finish up this video. And that kind of destroyed any drive and kind of sent me into, not to be like melodramatic, kind of a depression. Closest one I've had since like freaking my animals died. And the main reason for that is because not only was like a robbery in general bad, but I was coming home from a sleepover and I had a bunch, like this camera technically, I had to buy to replace this one. I had a tripod in there, I had my bag. I had so many bags of things that were getting transported from different places. And at the time, my house was under massive renos as well. So sadly, I felt like I was living out of my truck essentially. And it wasn't just my things that were in there. There was a bunch of things from my photographer's closet. And there's this one handmade fall leaves dress from a cosplayer that I know that also works with my photographer. And she lent it to me to finish up another big project that I was trying to do literally the next week. So having not just my things taken really killed anything. And when I counted everything and the prices of everything to make the report to the police, there was over $3,000 worth of stuff stolen. So that really fucking sucked, to be quite honest. And the worst part of it was, well, okay, the worst part of it was having $3,000 worth of stuff stolen. But the extra, like, fuel to, like, my rage was the fact that I was parked in front of the security office at the mall that it happened at. Like, right in the front doors. And typically when I park at a mall, I go in the parking area that's really close to the front door as I can, but also never with an overpass. Like, it's never on the lower level of a parking lot. It's always on the upper level, so it's always bright and sunny. But I was only popping into the mall like for, I think it was only like 45 minutes to pick up something. I can't remember specifically what I went in there for, but it was just supposed to be a quick in and out. And so their security footage was so poor quality that they could see someone pulling up to my truck right after I entered the doors, essentially. And their quality of cameras was so terrible that even though they could tell someone was pulling up to my truck, the footage was blurry. So blurry, in fact, that they could only tell that there was two men breaking into my vehicle, but they couldn't actually get the license plate, even though the license plate was clearly front facing to the camera. It was just so low quality that they couldn't get tiny enough to actually get out the numbers. So yeah, that was terrible. But, you know, not just the price of the items and not just the fact that there were also stuff that belonged to friends, but I also had some sentimental things in there, and I thanked God that my cross necklace that was from Florence that has huge sentimental value to me was on my neck when this happened, and I had my wallet on me, and I had my keys and phone on me. And that was like most important, and the fact that there was nothing on the memory card on my camera that was taken, so that was good. But my bullet journal was also in that truck, and that killed me because there was like memories in there because I was still doing my memories page, and there was ideas for videos that now I'm gonna have to do my best to try to rethink, and so many drawings. Like, that was this book. And yeah, that was the biggest blow, I think. But it's taken a bit to try to get over that. But you know, trying to move forward, this is the year that I'm kind of wrapping up the things that I couldn't complete because of that robbery, hence this releasing now. So enough about the sad stuff. We'll move forward with the next page, our schedule page. Now, for those of you that know already about the Beetlejuice lore, the sandworm is a very iconic moment in the movie, and even though some parts of the movie are a little bit dated with the fact of the green screen, the parts where it's like super up close and you can clearly tell they're using stop motion footage to really show the detail of the sandworm, absolutely incredible. So when I found this drawing that this artist here did, here's the original one, I knew I had to try to recreate it. And this is the most detailed drawing I've done since Jack as Sandy Claus. This one I didn't even bother trying to film because with having a full-time job in the mornings at the time, there was no way I was going to be able to film. Honestly, seeing the ink progression of the speed over clips, I'm just so happy with. Like, I still look back at that and I'm like, damn, I drew that. I can't believe I drew that. And I also brought in the Beetlejuice font to do October. And I tried to replicate the Beetlejuice logo of the musical and not just like the movie. I really wanted to incorporate both aspects of those. And, you know, obviously, I could talk all day about like the technicalities of how I drew this, but it's also been 2 years since I do this. So as you can see, like, I really did my best with those details, and it was very, very time consuming to do it with a small pen. But when you mix ink to be like thicker and thin pen, it really adds an extra oomph to it. I was in the middle of another thought. Before I went into that and it did the up close version, is anyone else super, super pumped for Beetlejuice 2? It's been like, what, 40 years or so? Oh God, it's been 40 years. Oh dear. Oh dear, I'm old. I mean, I wasn't even born when the movie came out, but Beetlejuice is actually one of the first Tim Burton movies I watched. First one was definitely Nightmare Before Christmas, but you know, especially after the musical came out, I became like super obsessed with Beetlejuice. I definitely think I prefer the musical, which might be a hot take. I don't know, which one do you guys prefer? But when I heard about Beetlejuice 2 finally happening, and then when I looked up all the extra info about what previous storylines were supposed to be for Beetlejuice 2, like 20 years ago at least, the fact that they're actually doing it now is kind of insane to me. Like, it feels like one of those rare movies now where it's actually coming out of like production hell. And they started filming it, but of course then the strike happened, and as of recording this, it sounds like they've reached a deal, so it looks like they might start refilming. Well, not refilming. They might continue filming Beetlejuice 2, and my friend Marley and I are super stoked for it. I'm gonna have to ask Haley if she wants to come along too, since she did help me with my makeup. But fun fact too, Marley, one of my best friends, she is an amazing singer, and she was just as obsessed with the musical as I was. And I had the idea of doing a live action, well, not live action because it's not animated, but our own version of Say My Name. I just thought it would be so much fun, and like we could find like a rooftop and everything, because she, I mean, honestly, her natural style is very Lydia Dietz, but more on like the tomboy side, so she reluctantly said yes. So that will probably be in the works in the next like maybe year or two. Kind of have to wait until one of these channels is making money to be able to do another big thing like that, but I think that would just be so much fun. But one extra thing before we move on to the next page, whenever you're doing ones like this, you're not really sure if a color is going to work, make sure you do it on a test page, because I have made way too many mistakes where I do a color on the actual page thinking it's going to work and then realizing too late that I fucked up and I should have tested it later. So don't do what I do, always test it beforehand, because as much as I love how this setup turned out, I am not used to this color wheel, and it made me question a lot of my decisions, but yeah. So moving on to our to-do list page. Now, because this was made so many years ago, I was still doing my to-do list pages, but back then too, I also had way more on my to-do list, so I did need this space. Now, thankfully, I've finally like narrowed it down enough that I don't need that much space, so I can just like have my habit tracker and my to-do list on like one spread. It's a lot less time consuming, that's for sure. And I still have a lot of these washi tapes and stuff, so I just like dolled it up with some of the old Nightmare Before Christmas striped washi tape and old Halloween stickers that made sure they were flat too. And really brought in more of the neon greens because obviously. And this goes towards testing your drawings and whatnot with pencil first before you go straight in with pen. I got a little too confident with my spider webs and I just completely botched it so much that I was like, you know what? When in doubt, cover it up with crafting paper. Some of this stuff is getting inside my mouth. Blech, that does not taste good. Not at all. Being in this costume is making me want to do another photo shoot. I feel like I did a pretty good job of makeup and my hair is like a lot thicker now, which doesn't really like help with like the whole dead theme, but I think it looks really cool. I had to back home this, like the shit out of this. I still feel like it's falling a little bit flat. I don't know, what do you guys think? Anyway, moving on to our next spread, we are on the mood tracker and habit tracker. So the mood tracker, it's a very special one because I decided to take a stab at drawing the handbook for the recently deceased. And let me tell you, that thing was a bitch to draw. Again, not good at real people, and I didn't have the best colors to color this in, and it was kind of hard at first to feel like, okay, how exactly am I gonna fill this in? Because I don't really have that many browns, and that was kind of like the idea behind it. But overall, looking back at it now, fully filled in, I think it did work. But I was definitely questioning myself when I was first drawing this.
But in order to do that, you can say my name 3 times.
Been listening to the Beetlejuice soundtrack all day today to get myself in the Beetlejuice mood. Now it's stuck in my head. Apparently, I can't remember if it's still on or started or it's going to be, but I heard Beetlejuice is going to be making its worldwide debut, so if it comes to my town, I am for sure going to it. When this came out too, I was kind of also going through, well, the Beetlejuice musical, I mean, not the 2021, but like year 2019. Kind of a rough time for me. I was dealing with repercussions of my blood clot and thinking I was about to lose my best friend. We won't go into it. I was an idiot. It was completely my fault, and she's a gem for forgiving me. But listening to the Beetlejuice soundtrack made me feel like so much better. Some of those songs like Dead Mom and What I Know Now, those songs still slap and those songs help. I don't know. I just love Broadway musicals. Like, I'm such a Broadway theater nerd. Literally all over my iPod, it's just Broadway musicals and JPOD. That's it. I don't know. They helped me get through the bad days. Now, again, because these drawings were more intense than I was really anticipating, I had to do a lot of my sketching outside of filming, so that's why you can see the outlines. But we are doing the, why can't I remember their names? Oh no. Oh my god. I feel so stupid. The couple. Why can't I remember the couple's names? I'm gonna have to put it on the screen. I am a terrible Beetlejuice fan. Oh my god. Look at this crib. See, I remember their songs, but I don't remember their names. I'm so sorry, but you know when they turn themselves into those things, amazing practical effects. See, anytime that you use practical effects in theater or movies, well, especially movies, it just ages so much more gracefully than trying to do CGI and shit. Like, I will always be an advocate for practical effects. Now, I will never like discount CGI, but if you can use practical effects and just like a little CGI to like help it out, I'd rather go that route. But enough with that mini rant. I saw this inspo for like silhouettes of them, so it was a little bit less intense and scary to draw. It was the backdrop to do the theme of their clothes that took bloody forever. It was the flowers on the left that took bloody freaking forever. But when it was all done and all colored in and everything, just looked absolutely amazing. Is there like one part of my hair that looks a little bit too weird? I don't know. I'm supposed to be dead. Does it really matter? I don't know. It can actually be quite relaxing when you're doing something so repetitive. Be prepared that it's going to take a long time. I wish I could do my own eye makeup because this would actually be like a really easy costume to keep doing at Halloween parties. No wonder it's such a popular thing. also this year that I'm super excited about, getting these jack nails again. I can't wait. Obviously, I don't have them on, but when I did do the photo shoot, I got to have those as well, and it was a happy accident. I didn't actually plan to do that, but it just looked so good. So I'm so excited to be able to have them again this time, because last year when I was in Japan... Oh, and it stopped recording again. Now, unfortunately, it looks like the robbery happened before I had a chance to actually finish the pink side, so you'll have to wait 1 second to see the total flip through. But with that, there is my Beetlejuice setup that has been on the back burner for 2 whole years. I hope you guys liked it. I'm so happy and relieved to finally have this done. I really want my 30s to just be about completing things, like I said in my how to start a bullet journal video. This is just one of the many things that I'm just ready to just move on and check off from this stupid robbery. So I thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know if you enjoy me dressing up for the themes. Maybe I'll continue doing it if there is enough demand for it, or if I'm really in the mood, to be quite honest. But I think I'll probably end up dressing up as Jack again. Hopefully I'll fit into the costume. I'm still trying to lose a bit more weight, and I was quite thin the last time I wore that costume. But anyway, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this setup, and I hope you're really excited to see the 30th anniversary of the Nightmare Before Christmas video and the other Halloween-y things we have coming. Let me know in the comments below what you're going to be dressing up for Halloween, what part of this setup you liked the most, and if you've actually made it to the end of this video, please leave maybe a book to be the handbook of the recently deceased. Yeah, that sounds good. Leave this emoji if you've made it to the end of the video, and I will see you guys next Scrappy Wednesday. Bye!